Hello, welcome to the second episode of Print on Demand Council. Today we've got Shimmy with us today.
Hi everyone. How's everyone doing?
We're all supposed to have Mike, so we're one guy short, and Junior isn't joining us today. But Shimmy actually sells on a different platform to me and Adam and Mike, so it should be a more diverse episode today. So let's just start off with a quick introduction. Shimmy, why don't you say where you're from, what you do, etc.
I am from London, England. I do various things, one of them being YouTube, one of them being print on demand, and the third running a community. My print on demand is mainly at this stage of my life Shopify print on demand. I've still got Amazon, I've still got Etsy, but it's not my main focus anymore. Yeah, for me, it's mainly Shopify, and then YouTube is YouTube. We all know what YouTube is. And then I run a community for print-on-demand sellers. That's me in a nutshell.
Cool. So somewhat similar, but more of a focus on Shopify on the print-on-demand side. And we will get into that today. First of all, though, where's everyone watching from? So I think we've got 18 people at the moment. Let us know.
Oh, Barbados.
Where you're watching from.
Jealous.
Barbados. Hello.
That's awesome.
We had a very diverse audience last time. It was a weekend, so it says 50 views now. It was a weekend, so probably going to be less people today. We've got Morocco again.
Essex. Now, where's Essex compared to where you guys are? A couple hours?
For me, 40 minutes.
Is that west of London?
I don't want to sound stupid on a live call, but it's
it's near London somewhere.
I think it's a bit east.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Vegas, I see. Austria. Wow. India. Washington.
Berlin. This is so cool.
Very cool.
Morocco again.
You've got another Florida.
Cool.
Western Australia.
Wow. We've got like almost every continent covered practically already.
What time is it in Western Australia? Flipping heck.
Yeah, probably like middle of the night or something stupid. 4 a.m. Okay, let's first of all a quick rundown of this format in case you're new. We'll go through first of all some main topics that we want to talk about, including Shopify, some different print on demand topics. Then it's your chance to ask questions, and we'll answer questions live. Then we share some niche ideas as well for you to target, and some personal questions at the end of the live stream. So first of all, I did a live stream the other day, and someone recommended a question: what made you want to start POD? I thought that was interesting because I guess we kind of can agree you start for the money in a sense, so that's one of the reasons. But I think a lot of people actually also start for different reasons, not necessarily always the same. So what made you guys start?
Jimmy, go ahead.
So I started a long time ago. I started when I was 18. I went on a gap year after school, and it was a 12-month gap year. Well, a year, it's in the name. But after like 4 months, I came home for a week, and I was online. I took a course on print on demand, and I was like, this looks quite cool. So I jumped on it, and then I went back on my gap year, but I had started the business, and I just got fully engrossed in it. So I left early, focused on the business, and that's how I started. Like I started with Teespring, Facebook advertising, creating personalized T-shirts, people's names on it, people's job titles, and that kind of kickstarted print on demand for me. And I did it because I at that point I wasn't going to university, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. I just knew I wanted to make money, so yeah, that's the main reason why I did it. It was a long time ago, though.
Okay, was there anything that drew you to it other than making money? Like, did you like T-shirts or?
Well, I mean, I'm artistic, and I'm a photographer, videographer, like graphic designer. I've done that since I was in like year 7. So yeah, like I always knew how to use Photoshop. I've always wanted to like create a clothing company, although not a print on demand clothing company, more of a fashion brand. But I guess this is the next. Well, I don't want to say this is the next best thing because a disgrace to fashion, but it's the closest I could get to making a clothing company and selling some form of t-shirts, and it was fun. It was good, even though I wouldn't personally wear my t-shirts, not all of them. Various things drew me to it, but like being realistic, it was making money, and I like making money.
I think that's a common denominator, of course, but
absolutely,
I feel like some of our reasons of starting would be similar there. And it's interesting you notice, like, we don't really wear our own t-shirts, or you don't, because I feel like that's probably most print on demand sellers. We create designs, but we don't wear the designs. So I find that's like a funny thing. Whenever people ask me what I do, then they might assume whatever I'm wearing is a t-shirt that I've designed, but it's never really the case. But yeah, what about you, Adam? What made you want to start?
So I was looking for a side hustle. I was kind of in between jobs, and said, hey, let me try and start a side hustle and get some extra money. So I began just researching online, and I actually started off doing Amazon FBA. That was my entry into the world of side hustles and Amazon. So I was doing Amazon FBA, and I did that for 2 or 3 years and progressively grew it. But what I was running into was with Amazon FBA, you're dealing with so much physical inventory. So I was doing white label, I was sourcing products, and like I was getting so much like boxes, and shipping, and I had to package them and send them to the warehouses. And then when I was in that Amazon ecosystem, I saw an ad or maybe an email about merch by Amazon and print on demand. And immediately I was like, wait, you're telling me I can sell stuff and I don't have to worry about inventory? I don't have to worry about packaging and boxing. I could just sell, basically, get royalties for these digital assets. And ever since then, I've immediately started phasing out my FBA and ramping up my POD. So it was originally to start a side hustle, but I really was drawn to it when I saw the benefits that you can run the business virtual, anywhere, remote, and you don't have to deal with inventory. You don't even have to. I was paying for inventory up front. That's normally how it works. I have to buy $5,000 worth of inventory and then make all my money back. With print on demand,
those days.
Yeah. So I mean, that grind, print on demand is much more better on my stress levels.
But you stopped that completely, FBA?
Yeah, I mean, it took a couple years to phase out because I had inventory and I had orders and stuff like that. But I mean, eventually I just kind of phased it out. And looking back, I wish I would have sold my FBA business. That was a big blunder, but that's for another episode. But now
I'm in the same boat.
Really?
I wish we sold. Yeah, I wish we had an FBA business as well. I wish we sold it.
Yeah,
we just phased it out as well. But then we were so sick of Amazon. We were so sick of Seller Central and customer service, like Amazon's customer service.
Yep.
But yeah, no, funny that we did the same thing there.
Yeah.
For me, it was obviously to make more money or to start a business that makes money, but it was also kind of the creative urge because I grew up drawing a lot. I did a lot of video editing as well. So I was always creating some stuff. And when I learned Photoshop and Illustrator, the designs I was creating, they're pretty rubbish, but I was just like, how can I use these in a meaningful way, or put them out there somehow? And I was aware of Redbubble because I had purchased a t-shirt from Redbubble before. It was like an infringing t-shirt on a brand, by the way, obviously. So Redbubble's always been the same. So I was aware of them and somehow knew that you could like upload your own designs. It was for artists. That's kind of their branding, isn't it? So I just uploaded my designs there just for fun to see them on a product. And then I think eventually someone bought a sticker, and that's when I kind of got hooked. And I think a big reason for starting or wanting to start as well is as soon as you figure out that it's passive or potentially passive income. And I know, Shimmy, you're kind of against that keyword, but obviously that's something that draws a lot of people in, right? It sounds very fascinating. You do some work and then eventually you can just drop it and it still makes money. So that was probably also a reason why I was keen on it. I was doing logo designs at the time, and it's quite service-based. You have to be involved to make money. You can't just drop it for a month and then expect to make the same amount. So yeah, those are two reasons for me anyway.
Nice.
What about people in the chat? Why did you start? Yeah, Michael's coming soon, hopefully.
I wonder what everyone, like you said, Philip, where is everyone, or where does everyone host their businesses? Like, not just why do you start, but what platform are you selling on? in the chat. It'll be cool to
let us know in the
see.
chat. I've just got to take a call, so you guys carry on.
All right.
Hello.
Oh, Philip is hilarious. Everyone in the chat, like, where are you selling? What's your main platform? Because obviously we have various platforms here, don't we?
Yeah.
Adam, what's your take on the passive side of print on demand? I'm curious.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. And I, my take on it is, I think the term passive is thrown around way too much, and it's become a marketing term. It's appealing and everyone wants that. I think anyone who's done any relatively genuine side hustle that's like building a business, right, where you're in it for the long run and stuff like that, knows that it's anything but passive, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, especially upfront. But I do think there are elements of, say, for example, print on demand that are passive, right?
Yeah,
When
sure.
we can front load our work, put a bunch of, listings up or create designs, whatever it is, but you can front load your work and you can step away and still earn, right? And that step away may be for like work or for school or for another goal. And that's the passive elements. And as I think as you sort of perfect your business and you kind of, expand and grow, the more passive it can become, right? You can outsource, you can automate, you can do different things to try and save yourself time. But
yeah,
there is no like, guys, you don't just start a print on demand and just like click a few buttons and just rake in the money. I mean, come on. Like,
I mean, if you think about it, here in the UK, I know America's very different, but like in the UK, if you have a 9-to-5 job, a normal job, working corporate or anywhere really, you get legally a certain amount of holiday days. So just to give an example, like some of my friends will get 30 paid holiday days plus 7 bank holiday days. So 37 days.
That's quite decent, by the way. I never got that many
amazing.
days.
We don't get anything like that.
America doesn't get anything like that. No. America's work culture is completely different. But the reason I'm saying this is it's kind of funny because you could also spin a 9-to-5 job as passive income. Because, like, for example, when I went skiing last year with some of my friends for 7 days, they all continued earning their money, yet they weren't doing any work.
Yeah.
But like, never in a million years would they say my job's passive. I'd be like, well, you're not working, you're making you're making some money. But I think print on demand is something like that, where you can take days off and you'll be okay, and you could take even longer, more than the 30 days you can take off. But if you don't continue to add designs, you don't continue to research, you don't continue to try new things, the money will slowly start to decline.
Yeah, that can definitely be an effect. I think what's interesting about print on demand is that the effort at the beginning is the highest, whilst your income is the lowest. But with time, that can definitely shift, where you're putting in less and less work, but the income is at its highest, comparatively speaking, across the years.
For sure.
That's what I think makes it attractive. And it's not fully passive. I don't think anything is, especially not at the beginning. It's not passive, but it can be. It has the potential to be somewhat passive with little time input, like half an hour a day over a few months, and you can keep that level going.
Yeah, let me add one thing to that. The passive element, it gets thrown around a lot because everyone wants that, and that's a big marketing thing, and it's appealing and stuff. But one thing I think that gets glossed over a lot with print on demand in general is it may not be, completely passive, but the business model itself is really, really appealing to anyone who's new to wanting to start a business, because the barrier to entry is low. You don't have to go and spend $5,000 on inventory, right? You don't have to create packaging. You don't have to many times even worry about the shipping or the logistics, right? There's third-party platforms, there's all these things. So the appeal of like starting a business and like, wow, you can get started for literally almost nothing if you're willing to put in the work and learn some skills. I think that's the big appeal of print on demand. And then the passive stuff comes later, right? After you put in some reps.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Speaking of budget to start a shop with, I think that's one thing that turns people off Shopify usually, because the assumption is you need more budget to make a Shopify successful, and you do in a sense, like you do need to spend a bit of money on ads, but I'm not the expert because I've never tried print on demand on Shopify itself. But how's your journey been, Shimmy, with that? And why are you selling?
I mean, I'll start by saying I'm far from an expert.
Well, I kind of threw you into
with it, but no, I mean, okay. So to put it simply, the way I see it, and everyone will be entitled to their own opinion, of course, but the way I see Shopify and MOD. Hey,
Michael.
How are you doing, Mike?
Hello.
Good. We're just talking about Shopify print on demand.
We're good. Just answering the elusive question of Shopify print on demand is too expensive to start kind of thing. But no, so what was I saying? So I was saying, yes, if we just compare Amazon, Etsy, and Shopify for a little second, the way I look at it is how calculated can success be, in the sense of what do I need to do to ensure I get sales? And I mean, I've done all three platforms. So what I found is on Etsy, well, Etsy not as much, but for example, on Amazon, before you get advertising capabilities, you're very much just counting on the algorithm. So, and to me, I'm a massive mathematical person. I love calculating something and working towards specific steps to know it's going to receive, get a specific outcome. So I found it frustrating uploading designs and then just kind of like praying to the Amazon gods to show my designs to people to get sales. And that's the main reason why I kind of finally was done with it and happily switched. Because with Shopify, yes, I pay for Shopify, but I know that if I pay X amount for ads, I will get X number of visitors. And I know if I'm getting a 3% conversion rate, those visitors are going to equal this amount of money. And I can clearly see on my return on ad spend, and I can see what designs, and every design is getting an equal chance to get sales. I could put 100 designs on Shopify and give them all the same 100 visitors. But with Amazon, one design could be really, really successful if it just got the views. But in terms of the cost to start, I think every platform has its own cost. So Shopify's cost is a monetary cost. Amazon's cost is a will you get accepted cost. Yeah. And an Etsy's cost is will you survive? Will you get banned with all the other things? So I think every platform comes with a cost, and Shopify just to most feels like the most unattractive because that cost is physical money that you've got to spend. But it's actually not that expensive. I mean, what? Shopify is $30 a month if you pay for the yearly. $30 a month if you pay for the yearly. So that's the first cost. I paid $20 in when I started, I paid $20 in apps, $20 in apps. So if it were at $50 a month, which is about the same price as an Amazon FBA Seller Central account. And then you've got the cost for ads, which is the big one. And you could go down the social media route and it will take a bit longer, or you can go down the ads route. But then again, people ask me, and I've got this comment on my channel a lot where I just did a video. I showed how I spent $4,000 something and I got X amount of sales. And all the comments were like, well, I don't have $4,000 to spend on ads.
There we go. That's exactly what someone asked in my last live stream when I asked for suggestions about
I'm reading the comment. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, this is the perfect example.
How can someone who's new spend that much money on ads?
Right, but this is the thing. This is the important thing. I didn't one day just spend $4,000 on ads and then make the money. That ad started at $50, and again, it could start at $20. It could start at $10 a day. I had the money, so I wanted to make it go faster. But when I first started, not this ad that we're talking about on the screen, but the store, it was $25 a day, so not very much, and I would only keep it running if it was giving me a positive ROAS. If after 3 days I wasn't getting sales, then I'd go back to my designs, try some new designs. Clearly that design didn't resonate, didn't work. And there's ways that you can kind of figure it out. You can run specific ads that are even cheaper, $5 ads to see what design gets the most engagement to then turn it into a conversion ad. So this concept of spending 200 a day, 300 a day, 500 a day, like we got to a point where we were spending 700 a day, but we only got to that point because we were upping our budget every single day because our ROAS was over 2.5. We would never have
what that means. What's ROAS?
Return on ad spend. So we knew that, we were spending $1, getting $3 out basically, or spending $1, getting $4 out. We would never increase our budget if we weren't getting the return, because then we are literally just throwing money away. Which is the cold calculated approach, which is why I like it.
Okay, so if I get it right, first of all, you prefer Shopify because you have more control over the data, over getting your design seen, over the customers. And secondly, the thing with the ads is you only spend more money on ads as soon as you've found an ad that is working well. It's not like you jump in straight away, you put $2,000 into it. It's testing with smaller budgets until something works and then scaling that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? I mean, and here's the perfect example. We have 140 odd designs on our store at the moment. Like a good 15 of them are getting sales, but one like absolutely took off. One design has made over 25 grand in a few months, right? Now, if we had to spend $1,000, $2,000 to stumble across this one successful design, it would have been worth it because that one design has paid for all of those failures now leading up to it, and then some. Now, I appreciate not everyone has money to throw away, which is why there are ways like you run a page post engagement ad, and there are ways to spend, $20 a day for like 3 days just to kind of to test the waters. I don't suggest anyone puts $4,000 into an ad and then sees what comes out of it, because you will lose $4,000 straight up. You'll lose it.
I have a follow-up question, if I can jump in, just for Shimmy.
Oh.
Shimmy, when you're running ads, are you running those on Google, like organic SEO traffic, or are you running ads specifically on a platform like Facebook and directing them back to your Shopify or social media or something like that? Where are you placing the ads primarily?
So there's so there's 3 levels to it. So we start with Facebook ads and we send it to our collections page, which is like all of our designs. We then, and these are just design specific ads. So each design has its own ad. Then we go and we create retargeting ads on Facebook. So anyone that visited the site, reached checkout, abandoned checkout. Then then like later on, and I'm not even like close to wanting to worry myself with this, but then you go to Google ads and you'll create some retargeting ads on Google, and then you can do like TikTok ads and other ads as well. I've messed with TikTok ads a little bit, but the main source of traffic and of customers to begin with is definitely Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Facebook and Instagram, right? Because they're kind of
they're connected.
Yeah. Mike, have you ever sold or tried to sell print on demand on Shopify or?
Yes, I have. Well, first, I just want to apologize for being late because I had to drop my son off at school.
That's fine, no problem.
Right.
But yeah, I did try Shopify when I first got into making money online when I was doing KDP. I was in this mastermind group, like I mentioned in the last one,
cool.
and some of these guys were doing Shopify. And, like Shimmy was saying, I think there's pros and cons to both, Shopify and Merch by Amazon. I think in the long run, probably Shopify is better because you have more control, like you actually own the business, and nobody can really like shut you down. Like you can't really get your account terminated on Shopify really. But the only problem for me was kind of what you guys are talking about is I just ran out of ad spend, out of budget. I was doing a niche store. It was going pretty well. I was getting some sales. I was using Facebook ads. But I just ran out of money. Now, if I had more capital spend, I would love to get back into Shopify because, we all have that, or at least I have that fear that, I might get my account shut down one day or, something like that. I just like the control that Shopify offers. But the only downside with Shopify is that it costs a lot of money. And that's why I like, Amazon so much, because you don't really need any capital. You just need to have like Photoshop or, Ideogram, just a place where you can get designs, and you just put the designs up and you just get, direct deposits into your bank account pretty much every month. So I think there's pros and cons to both. But if I could get some more capital, I would definitely go back into Shopify.
Yeah.
'Cause
So I
of
guess
the-
they both have risks. Like Amazon has the risk of you losing the account more likely than Shopify would, but obviously you do have risk with Shopify because you have to test ads, you have to use some money. Even if you start with smaller budgets, there is still the risk of it failing and you running out.
Yeah. And another thing is, I believe you can sell your Shopify website because it's your website. So I believe you can sell it with
Yeah.
Amazon. I don't think you can sell a Merch by Amazon account. So like,
That's a
with
great
merch,
point.
I don't really feel like I'm a business owner with merch, but with the Shopify, I really feel like I am a business owner because it's my business. I own it. I own the URL, and same thing with Etsy too. You can't sell an Etsy account, so it's never
That's the
really
main
like,
reason.
that's why
Yeah,
print on demand kind of bugs me.
that's the main reason. That's the main reason I went into Shopify, because of the eventual outcome of selling it. Like, I've been speaking a lot with Chris Heckman. If any of you guys have seen his stuff, so he does this a lot, and he's built and sold print on demand Shopify stores for 6-7 figures, done millions in selling Shopify stores, and to me, that's the ultimate end goal. I want to sell my print on demand business one day and buy a house in cash outright in London, which is really difficult to do. And so like I want to have that end goal. But like in terms of like the huge budget that people need, I typically say, if you've got $400 to $800 is a good amount to test and find the designs that will take off, and eventually when they take off, where to just focus the rest of your money. But that's, I mean, I guess for some that's a lot of money. You can't deny that. It's obviously a lot more than you need for Amazon. But I mean, I think at the moment, I mean, I love Amazon. Don't get me wrong. Merch on demand is a brilliant model. I just think for most people, the biggest problem with Amazon is they can't get an account. They can't even do it, even if they want to do it. And at that point, it's like people have asked me, like, they're like, you don't recommend Redbubble, you don't recommend TeePublic, Etsy, I got suspended, I can't get it back, and they say Amazon, I can't get on. What do I do? And then they say Shopify, I can't afford. And at that point, I literally just say, I don't think print on demand is a business you should go into.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think Shopify is a good thing to look at for people who can't get into Amazon Merch but would consider buying an account, because that's obviously a thing as well. And some people spend a lot of money on an Amazon account, which is against the rules. And in that case, it would make more sense to use that budget to test out a Shopify store, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So if anyone watching is like new to this, or they want to get started with Shopify, like, where would you direct them, Shimmy? What's like the best beginner video?
Oh,
or beginner source?
Am I allowed to self-plug?
Of course you can.
No, I would just say I've got some videos on my channel where I talk about it, and we run a community where we break it all down and go through the framework and do that. Me and Chris have got this community together, where he talks about the.
If you watch that.
Yeah, so Chris has a great course on YouTube. Chris has a great course on YouTube as well. And then so like in our community, he deals with his is just a free YouTube video course. It's brilliant. Absolutely insane. But yeah, in our community, he focuses on the advertising, the high level stuff. I focus on the niche design and all of that stuff, and kind of the best of both worlds. But that's what I would say. But I would say start with free content first before you commit to spending any money on any training or anything like that.
Yeah, just to see, does it work for you? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Chris, I'll just add his name to this. There we go. For anyone who doesn't know who Chris is, that's his name. I did a podcast interview with him as well. And yeah, he's got a pretty long free course on YouTube for anyone who wants to like just see what it's like.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's very good.
That's it in terms of Shopify. I'll move on to the next topic because we could probably talk about it for hours. But I also want to get to viewers' questions. A quick one. Do your daily sales affect your mood? Has anyone had that experience? Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, this month was going really good. And then I think Philip mentioned it the other day. He had a bunch of returns, and I had like 25 returns. I think it was on like Friday or something like that.
I had
and then
30 in one day.
Yeah, and then like Friday was really bad. I had like 3 bad sales days in a row, and I was starting to get kind of bummed out. And then yesterday, everything just like took off, and I had like 80 sales, I think, and did over like $120 or something like that. So now I'm happy again, and this morning's starting off good too. So yeah, my sales definitely affect my mood.
Yeah, no, I always feel like this. Still, so many years later, when you have like a few days of sales that are low, you're instantly in a bad mood. And yeah, I had the same experience. It was really, really good the first half of the month, and then there was a drop off, and now it seems to be recovering. Does it affect your moods?
I thought I was the only one.
Shimmy?
For me, yeah. I mean, of course, but I don't know about you guys, but I get affected more by YouTube than I do by my sales. My mood, like
Yeah,
views-wise, are views coming in or they're not coming in? It's really bad. But I try to not let sales used to really bug me, but I try to not let them bug me. We get a very similar amount of sales every single day. It's very constant.
that helps.
And that's because I know how much I'm spending. I know how much I'm making. But there are days like the weekends are always better. And then if you have a bad day, it's not nice to be around.
Yeah.
You as well,
Adam.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, I mean, I totally, Philip and I talked last week and I was saying the same thing. My sales this week have been really like, what's going on? So I felt the same drop here recently in the last, week or two. But, I used to I still get upset about my sales when they're up or they're down, but I tried to take a step back. I stopped using the app on my phone to check my daily sales because I just was constantly checking that, and I've deleted that in like New Year. I started in January, New Year's, I'm going to delete the app off my phone. So that's helped. But I'll tell you what I get more frustrated at, or what kind of bums me out sometimes, is like, sometimes I'll find a niche and I think it's the best niche. I'll create a design for it. I'll create the best design. And I'm like, man, this is going to crush. This is going to do good. And then you put it up, in weeks or a couple months. And it's like the one that you thought was going to take off, just total crickets, So that
like a
happens
random
a lot
one
too,
that you never expected to sell takes off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's an up and down business, right? Where you're going to have good days and bad days and moods and stuff, but you got to just kind of zoom out a little and just continue the long-term plan, stick with it.
What about everyone watching? If you get into a bad mood when your sales are low, put a 1 in the chat. And if it doesn't affect you at all, put a 2. Let's see. And by the way, there's a bit of a delay, so we won't see instant comments probably.
One tip I just want to share, like regarding this question, like what I do, like when that happens, like kind of what Adam was saying, like zoom out and try and look at the big picture. Like don't focus on the days, because if like I look at the month, I'm having a good month, you know, so overall the month is going good. I'm just having a bad day. So that's what I do if I'm having a slow day. I just kind of like zoom out, look at the big picture. The month is going good. And that kind of will get me back into a better mood instead of just focusing on, one day out of the year, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good.
I think it's the same with everything. Same with everything. If you can zoom out and of a situation, any negative situation in your life, whether it's work or personal, if you just zoom out and look at the bigger picture and you see how it's such a tiny little blip and it's so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, like being stuck in traffic or anything. The concept of zooming out and kind of like looking at it from like an eagle's perspective, it can definitely calm you quite well.
Yeah.
I heard a really interesting perspective on that recently. Like, do you remember what things you were worried about a year ago today? Like, what was wrecking your mind at that time? You've already completely forgotten. So everything that currently is really bothering you, you'll forget it in a few months anyway. So zooming out is definitely useful wherever. But I can see a lot of 1s in the chat. We've got a couple of 2s.
And my chat is not updating.
Yeah, sales down is a part of the business. Yeah, it is true. You always have ups and downs. Yeah, Mike, what did you want to say?
No, I was just saying I was in the private chat, so I didn't see any of the comments, but I switched over. So maybe for Shimmy, that might be why.
I also just saw that.
Okay, cool. So, another thing I wanted to mention is that me and Adam might do a meetup in Orlando if enough people are interested in it, and it would be sort of end of August or beginning of September probably this year. So if anyone is watching who lives nearby or who would come to Orlando, would consider it, let us know. I think we might even have Juna joining in as well, but that's not confirmed. But
Yeah.
Just curious. It'd
Awesome.
be just a subscriber meetup. We'd spend the day together probably.
Yeah, so if anyone's in the Orlando area or is, wanted to visit Orlando, I'm not far from there. So if Philip comes to the States, we might put together and probably go somewhere and get some food and then maybe an activity. It would be very informal, like literally hang out, talk, meet,
Yeah, I just did one in York. And
Yeah.
it was pretty fun. It was a smaller group because there's probably not many viewers of mine that live near York. I should have probably done it in London, but no, it was still fun. It's good to meet people in real life that do this thing, I think, because I don't know about you guys. Have you ever met someone in real life who just print on a mountain, like just randomly?
No. I haven't. I've looked. They're rare.
Yeah. So it was quite fun to actually talk to people in person about this topic and kind of nerd out a bit. So yeah, if you would come to something in Orlando in August, September, put a 1 in the chat. That would be interesting if we could see any ones. I know there's only 100 people watching, so they're likely.
How popular would you say like the print on demand scene would be in Orlando compared to somewhere like New York or LA?
I think there's quite a bit in more than we think, now how many people are print on demand sellers that are watching this and would be, what I mean? I'm not really sure, but Orlando also has a huge college campus there, University of Central Florida. I think it's like 100,000 enrollment just in that college. A lot of people who are doing side hustles that are maybe familiar with YouTube, this kind of world, and the surrounding areas, I mean, I think there's a lot of people. Sorry, I just saw the comment for Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm down if he's going to pay for Disneyland.
Yeah,
that's the deal. Everyone's invited to Disneyland.
So I do think they're out there, but as we were just discussing, our community tends to be quite introverted, stay behind the scenes a little bit. But it'd be great, if we could meet up and meet some folks. But if not,
that's another thing I'll say. Like, if you would be worried about coming to a meetup because you're introverted, like most people in this business are introverted. It's a very it's a very attractive business to introverts because you don't have to work with anyone. So
I'm imagining a very quiet meetup.
Yeah, just out there staring.
We're just sitting there texting each other.
Yeah, all still on Discord. So yeah, that should be a turn off, hopefully, because you'll be amongst other introverts. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then one question that I had recently suggested for this was how to organize design files and keep track of uploads. I guess everyone's kind of got their own system maybe with that. What do you do?
Who should go first?
Go for it.
Well, I don't really do anything special. Organized design files, I just have a separate folder for each niche, right? So a fishing folder, a hiking folder. Sometimes I'll make a subfolder for designs that are for light t-shirts, right? So different background color. But besides that, not much. Keeping track of uploads. The only way I've ever done that is with Flying Upload, because they've got like a tracking system. As soon as you've uploaded a design, it keeps track of that, so you don't have to upload it twice. But I've never sort of written down or properly kept track of it. Have you guys? Or
I use Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, go first.
Okay. I was just gonna say I use Google Drive, right? So most of mine's on the drive where I don't have to have it localized. But one thing I did start in the past, maybe like I'd say 2 years or so, was I started using like a certain taxonomy in my file name, right? So when I use a designer and when he's designing stuff, he knows to put it in a certain format, and I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I work off batches. So he'll get assigned a batch number, which is essentially a niche. And then within that niche, there'll be, say, if there's 100 designs, it'll have a sub number of 1 through 100. So it'll be something like the niche, whatever the main niche is. Maybe there's like a phrase or a subject matter, and then the batch number and the sub number. And I have all that kind of integrated with like spreadsheets on my Google Drive and everything so that I can search for a batch, right? I can just go to a batch number or a niche or a keyword and find that stuff. So I use like a taxonomy that's just for my little system. And that seems to help with me being able to find old files or repurpose them and see exactly how many I'm uploading and stuff like that.
Sounds very organized. A lot more organized.
That is very organized.
Can anyone top that? Or?
Well, I don't think I'm as OCD. I've got I use Google Drive as well, and I'll have folders. So I have a folder for all my designs, folder for all my mock-ups, and then if there's specific time of the year events like Father's Day or Christmas, I'll have designs in that specific one. I don't do it by niche because I only focus on one niche, so that's okay. But each niche has its own Google Drive. I know that seems excessive, but it's only because each niche comes with its own email, so it gets a free Google Drive anyway. And then and then in terms of tracking uploads, I use a Google Sheet, and I say my wife does all of that stuff, and I've just started using Todoist. Again, it was a recommendation from Chris to organize my files because my files are usually a mess. And it's great. I can like tap the back of my iPhone twice and hang on, let me do it. Let me see if it works. If I tap the back of my iPhone twice, it like pops up the Todoist thing where I can just add a quick idea. So if I ever have an idea, and so that's what I use that for. But Google Drive mainly for uploads, designs, mock-ups, all that kind of stuff.
That's interesting. I just store my files on my PC, but I also have a bit of an OCD with backing up stuff. So I've got it getting backed up into a cloud. Then I've got like 2 hard drives where they're being backed up as well. So I want to have like multiple backups running at the same time. But mainly I'd start off on my actual hard drive.
You should get a NAS drive if you like backups.
NAS drive? What's
NAS drive is a network access system. It's basically it's a box that has however many hard drives in it. So let's say you've got 4 and they're each 2 terabytes. You'll have 4 terabytes, and then the other 4 terabytes could be the backup. And it's the whole idea is you have it like at home connected via an Ethernet cable, like by the router, and anywhere in the world, it's like your own Google Drive. But it's like a one-off cost rather than having to pay for Google Drive every single month. But it's also nice because it does like a local backup as well.
So there's like multiple backup functions in one. You don't have to have like 3 different.
It's really good if you're nervous about losing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not anymore because I've got all the backups, but this sounds like an interesting solution because you don't have to pay monthly subscription then. Cool. What about you, Mike?
For me, I mean, the short answer is I don't organize my design files. I basically just do the research, I design for it, and then I upload to it, and then I get rid of the design because I don't want to take enough space on my computer. But what I do organize are my PSD files, my Photoshop files, because I have a lot of like design templates. Like, for example, I have some like political templates, but every time a new political trending niche pops up, I can just basically just type in the phrase or whatever it is. So I do organize my PSD files, my Photoshop files, and I just store those in my cloud. So
that's a good tip. Like if you can set up any templates, or for example, one thing I do, I've got a folder that's called design assets. So it has lots of like textures and templates, or like vintage sunsets, all this stuff that I need to create designs. It's all in one place, so I don't need to keep like flicking around and finding stuff. I think staying organized in that sense is quite good to speed up the process. What else? So has anyone noticed there's a new crop top on Amazon? I've heard some people comment about it. Have you guys heard anything about it?
I've seen multiple other folks in our community post about it. I haven't seen any specifically, but I did see someone, I think it was a screenshot, and it was a crop top on Amazon that appeared to be merch. But I don't know officially.
People got rejections for them, even though they didn't post any. Like suddenly a rejection email for a crop top.
That doesn't sound like Amazon at all.
No, so atypical. Random rejections for no reason.
But it's available.
I can't
You
see
can
it on
upload
my
to it?
upload page, but
I haven't gotten access to them,
Some people have.
I haven't even looked.
but I've heard they're coming, and I mean that's an interesting opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a tank top and a crop top?
I don't know.
I
A
think
crop top is like a it's
is
yeah.
more for
see the
I think
belly.
it's more women, right? Yeah, it's showing the-
yeah. I realized it was a stupid question. I didn't have any. I don't have any crop tops.
I was just going to say.
I have not worn a crop top in a long time.
One niche that comes to mind when I heard you say crop tops is it'll probably do well for that type of garment would be the gay pride or the LGBT designs, because there's a big gay pride community down here where I live in Puerto Vallarta, and I see them always wearing those. So if they do get live, I would definitely upload those type of designs to that type of apparel. Probably do well.
Also coming up to the summer, like it would be a big sell in the summer.
Yep. Great tips.
And now you can ask questions. I'll try and pop some up on the screen. I'll also look through what you've already been asking.
You got one here. How many daily uploads do you recommend on Merch by Amazon?
I mean, I guess it depends on I can't see that question, but
as many as possible.
As many as you can while remaining consistent and not sacrificing, quality. I mean, that might be one good one. One awesome targeted great design is better than uploading 100 trash designs, so find that balance that works for you, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you were in a higher tier, don't just max it out to max it out. You also want to obviously have good designs. But yeah, stay consistent. Or if you go down the Tamaz method route, which the video is coming soon, then you shouldn't really focus on volume, but more finding one winning design without spamming too many. But that's a topic for another video. What have we got? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for Adam about his designs or designers.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk a little bit about that? Like where you got your designer and like how much are you paying, or like how does that process work with when you
Great question.
Order designs?
Yeah, no, great question. So currently the designer I have is from the Philippines, and I got him on onlinejobs.ph, which is a kind of like an Upwork or a Fiverr where you can hire freelancers, part-time employees, even full-time employees, but it's focused on the Philippines. So I think, 99.9% of the freelancers on there are in the Philippines. And there's a free version and then a paid version. But what I normally do is I do the paid version, and I'll put out a bunch of job listings and I'll get a ton of applicants, and I'll direct them over to a Google sheet or a Google form where I can capture their email and get some questions. And then I'll just have this big list of like maybe 50 freelance graphic designers that applied, and I've even done it with video editors. You can find VAs, all kinds of stuff. But now I kind of have this bank of people that if I need something, I can reach out to them. Hey, I have a project, or I need a part-timer or something like that. So my designer that I work with, we primarily communicate on email, and he's been with me for probably 2 years now. I'm actually looking to hire a second full-time designer. The pay varies. I mean, I think I've paid as little as like $1 for a design, right? And I've paid as much as I paid $100 for one design, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm constantly testing, and it just totally depends on, I've tried the high end stuff and the low end. Right now, my designer and I kind of are on a different system where he's paid basically about $6 per design, which is quite high actually, but that includes scaling out the design. Okay. So what I mean is he's not just giving me like one stationary design, standalone design. He's taking that design and then maybe scaling it out. If it's like a birthday niche, for example, he'll scale that out to the different birthdays for me, and he'll put it so that it's on a version of light colored that applies to a black garment type. And then he'll do the inverse, right? Where it's black text for a light colored garment. So, that's where I've had the most luck is onlinejobs.ph. I've also hired them off Fiverr, but yeah, I primarily outsource. I do a little design myself, but I've been using designers since like 2019.
And nice. How's the quality?
The quality can be good, I mean, it can be great. It's really what you pay for and finding the designer. I will say you have to go through a lot of designers to find one that sort of you work well with and that understands your style and workflow. So I've definitely I've worked with a lot, over the past couple years, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So the quality can be great, it just depends on what you're trying to go for. Are you going for more the Tomas quality, not as much volume, or are you going for more volume? I tend to fall kind of in the middle, So I'm trying to make good quality, but I also have a lot of free slot or open slots because I'm tier 100,000, and I'm constantly trying to fill those slots, but I'm mindful, kind of like what Shimmy was saying. Like, look at the data, look at the look at the math. What niches are selling, what price points, all that kind of stuff.
Nice. Someone just asked, should I start my business with my own website or try in Etsy or other platforms? And we kind of answered that question before when we were talking about Shopify, or we went through some of the pros and cons of each option. So I'd recommend to you to kind of, how do you do it? Like rewind backwards in the live stream to the Shopify part, because I don't want to repeat it, but we did kind of answer that. Any tier ups monthly?
I don't think there's.
I don't
like
random
a pattern
like that.
I've not seen tier ups for a few weeks. Usually they come in waves. Here's an interesting one. Got a question about ads. I have a big lottery campaign, about 10,000 products, but only 1 or 2% have impressions and clicks. How can I let all the other products have impressions? That is usually the same with my lottery campaigns as well. I don't know if there's a way to change it. At least I haven't found one.
Yeah, I have the same issue. The only thing that I have found that I've had some success with is instead of taking that 10,000 products into one campaign, take 1,000 products and put it in 10 campaigns. And you're still advertising the same products, but for some reason, I feel I have the same thing. When I have too many in a lottery campaign, the last few pages don't even get impressions. So I've just been breaking them up. But it's
so is it more spread out? If it's 1,000, is it more spread out across them?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, instead of 10,000
it's
on
all-
one campaign, it's on multiple different campaigns.
But it's also about the budget. If you have a whatever, let's say you've got a $50 budget for your ad campaign. I'm assuming we're talking about Amazon here. There's only, and your clicks are however much. There's only so many that they can share that across. What I think that they're doing is they are seeing what ad is most likely to be successful, and they optimize the campaign to then spend the budget on the least likely to succeed. So if you've got an ad getting absolutely no love at all, yes, there's an element of your budget being too small, but also there's an element of maybe it's not as good as the ones that are performing. So like your idea of, and this is what I would suggest as well, like splitting it over multiple campaigns. But then again, if you have a $50 budget for 10,000 designs, I wouldn't recommend doing 10 campaigns, 1,000 designs each, but then also split that $50 by 10, because then you're spending now $5 for 1,000 designs, and same thing's going to happen. So I think a lot of it is just about how much you're spending, and if Amazon, or the same thing works for Facebook as well, but if it's got enough to spread it around.
Yeah.
Someone asked an interesting one. Why do I need a designer when I've got AI?
I ask myself that every time I pay my designer a couple $100. I'm like, what am I doing here? All this AI stuff.
But I mean, I pay designers sometimes as well. Do you want to do the work yourself or not? Because with AI, you still have to do work. It's not just like done.
No, that's the thing, Philip. A lot of people think AI is the savior, and I can put in a prompt and upload it straight to Amazon or upload it straight to a platform. But a lot of the time, AI is absolutely terrible. It looks bad, doesn't make any sense, or it's too realistic, or there are ways to make it look really, really good. But I still think you need to kind of have a somewhat understanding of what a good designer looks like if you're going to use AI. You can't just use AI for the sake of, like, as a cop-out, because if a bad AI design comes through, you're going to just be like, well, it was made by AI. It's got to look amazing. It's got to be amazing. AI only makes something that's amazing. When no, actually, majority of AI is atrocious.
It doesn't default to amazing straight away. It's still a there's still work involved with it. And talked about this with Junior as well in videos. It's not like every single prompt that comes out is perfect. Like the thing that he's doing, Design with a Detour, his results look amazing, but it's the result after spending an hour of creating the design, even with AI, right? Or maybe half an hour, whatever. So yeah, there's always work involved with it. And I think, yeah, if you don't have the time or don't want to do it yourself, outsource it to a designer. It still makes sense. And some stuff AI just can't do, like some specific topics, or if it's too much text, too complex, like too intricate. So yeah, it depends. Sometimes AI is a better option, sometimes not.
The worst is when you pay for a designer and the design that they give you, you can see this is just an AI design. They have done nothing.
Yeah.
I've had that before, and I've just given it straight back. I'm also on Midjourney. I also use all the AI tools. Please go back
Yes.
and create me something unique. Don't
Yeah,
just
and
use a prompt.
Yeah, and if anyone's out there, watching this and wants to hire a designer, be careful of that. I mean, it's the same things happen in blogging, right? With written articles that used to be written by people, and now there's AI that's just pumping out these articles. So be mindful of that and tell your designer, hey, I'm not interested in any AI. If you're doing a test design, tell them no AI. I want to see your illustration, your ability to, vectorize, create whatever, but tell them no AI. If you want to, stay away from that, because they will try and do that sometimes.
This summarizes it quite well. It has helped a ton, and it has saved this person outsourcing some work to VAs, but they still have to fix some stuff, and it still takes time, but a bit less time. What else have we got? Oh, here's a rejection for a crop top.
That's crazy.
Thing.
I think someone said that they have tie-dyes too now. Is that true? Tie-dyes? That'd be cool.
I haven't seen
Tie-dye
that
shirts?
or heard that. That would be cool.
I haven't seen them either.
I think I saw it in the comments. Do some good hippie designs.
Yeah.
How to deal with copycats.
Just ignore them. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say as
Honestly,
well.
yeah.
Are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
You can't win. Can't beat them.
Join them.
You can never catch up. Well, you can beat them, but you can never catch up with deleting the designs. You can create better designs or run more ads on your designs. You can be original and create a design first that then sells well. They will always be copying. They'll always be the second, third, fourth to market.
I will say, one quick thing to add on to that. Most people copycat designs that are selling well. Most people are copying bestsellers, not designs that have never sold. So if you happen to have a design that is a good seller, it's maybe your top seller or becoming your top seller, do what you can to maintain the placement of that. I had a few bestsellers a couple years ago, and I thought, this is before I knew stuff. I let them, they were page one in a really good niche. I was making great sales, and I thought, I've made it. I'm on page one. My organic sales are going to sustain. And they didn't. I quickly sort of fell off of the rankings and lost. And I got copycats, right? And it's been so hard to claw my way back up. So people copy bestsellers. If you have a bestseller, try and maintain that by, ads, marketing, the lowering the price, right? Like anything you can to stay on that page.
Yeah, that's some good advice. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, one thing I just want to say real quick too about that is, like Adam was saying, if you have a good seller, what I like to do is I like to copycat myself. So I'll upload the same design a few times, and I'll just flood the niche basically.
Do you really?
Like 10 other.
Genius.
10 other designs.
Interesting.
I'll copycat myself. I'll flood the niche, and that's the way, like Adam was saying, to kind of like protect your design.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone doing that, but that is so clever.
Copycatting myself.
idea.
Yeah, it sounds very funny. It's great though. Like, would make for a good video title. How to increase sales. Copycat yourself. Someone's asked a few times about, do you recommend to use tools like
Just a few
Dominator,
times.
Flying Research? Yeah. I think he means Merge Dominator. I haven't used Merge Dominator. I do use Flying Research a lot. I do recommend them. I think they're good. They're not necessary as a beginner, especially if you don't have the budget. Like, you can do free niche research. That doesn't mean that tools are useless. I think they hold a lot of, first of all, they organize your research into more of a clear format. It's a lot easier to to filter through different designs and listings with a research tool, and they give you additional data that you wouldn't see on the front end of Amazon. So yes, I recommend them. They can help you out and kind of speed up the process in a lot of ways, help you validate niches, but they're not like you need to pay to find niches. You don't have to.
It's to save a bunch of time. You're paying for your time back, basically.
Yeah.
You
Which is
use
the most
Flying
valuable
Research, don't you,
thing.
Mike?
Yeah, I actually like Flying Research a lot. I mainly use it for like trendy niches. I don't really use it too much for like evergreen or bestsellers. I just see what's kind of trending, and that's where I get a lot of my like ideas for trendy niches, political niches, or just kind of like whatever's going on for the summer, 4th of July. You know, we've seen that Haktua niche really take off. So different versions of that. So yeah, I like Flying Research. I have not used the other one, Merch Dominator, but I imagine it's pretty similar. I don't know what the price point is, but I just like Flying Research so far.
Yeah, they are usually somewhat similar with more or less data, because I think a lot of it is how much data they can index. Shimmy?
They're all the same these days.
Yeah.
Like they're all good. They all have good things. They all have bad things. Like I think honestly, you could pick one out of a hat and it will do absolutely fine for you. Like there's so many now. It's ridiculous how many there are these days.
You used Pretty Merch quite a lot, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I use Pretty Merch, and I've tried Merch Dominator. I've tried Flying Research, but then I use Pretty Merch more because I was a bit biased because I was working with Harris on Pretty Merch. But yes, I wouldn't be a good judge of character to say which tool to use. Also because I don't do Amazon as much, and a lot of my research now is done manually, going through Amazon, looking at bestsellers, looking at reviews, looking at BSRs, all that kind of stuff. It is quicker to use a tool, but the data, if you think about it, you can download a free plugin so that you can see all the BSRs quickly on Amazon, and then you could just search Amazon for various design ideas and then categorize. What I tend to do is categorize by reviews. So a design that has the most reviews will most likely have the most sales. It's just how it goes. And that's how you can kind of see bestsellers, or not even necessarily bestsellers, but the ones selling best. And that you can do completely for free without any tool.
Good. I did just notice that the person that asked that question was spamming it a lot. So I only noticed that after I brought it up. But yeah, if someone spams in the chat, I will just have to put them in a timeout.
You're out of here.
Not fair to the other people.
A timeout. That's such fun. Can I go on a timeout?
I wonder how long it takes, because it doesn't say. Oh, well. How many sales do you need to get out of tier 10? So you need 10 technically, but that doesn't always guarantee that you get tiered up. Some people wait a few weeks. Some people even have to wait a few months after they hit the sales threshold. So
isn't it a design threshold as well now? Like it's not just 10 sales, but also they expect you to have like at least 8 to 10 designs uploaded.
It's the common consensus, but I don't really believe that either, because I know of people who are in a really high tier and they've barely filled out their slots. Like they're 5% filled out. Yeah, it's a bit hard to say. Sometimes I think they just draw an account out of a hat and give it a tier up.
Yeah.
Gotta love Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all on Patreon? I am not.
Nope.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm on it. So I have a Patreon page. I actually just put out a members only video today. You can check it out. It's go to my channel. It's in the description, the link.
Nice.
Sweet.
I've got something similar, like the memberships on YouTube. It's almost the same, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah. What else have we got? Oh, here's a good example. I've had over 300 sales, but we're still in tier 10 for 8 months. Wow. That's crazy.
Flipping heck. That is a long time.
Yeah, I remember someone in the Discord server as well who's waiting for a few months. Not that many, but he was waiting for a few months. But then the tier ups after that were quite quick, at least. This is a good one. Please suggest a way to avoid rejections caused by auto translation.
Turn it off. No, I don't use it. I turn it off, and then let Amazon automatically. Wait, are they talking about the auto translate where you can select that when during the upload process, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have off. But then I think there's maybe a second setting where Amazon will automatically take your designs that have sold and convert those to the foreign markets. I have that one on, if I'm explaining that right. Do you know what I'm talking about, Philip?
Yeah, like the automatic upload.
Yeah,
after it's been
automatic
published.
upload. Yes.
You can do that. Something I've been doing recently as well is just pasting the English listing to the other markets. That way you have a bit more control over which keywords are in there. It's not ideal, but it seems to lower rejections. And if you still want to use the auto translate, just publish just 6 products or seven products first in all markets. So like what I mean is just the standard t-shirts in all markets, have it translated, and then if it clears, upload to the rest of them. That way you don't get like 70 rejections at once.
That's a good idea, that.
Oh, here's a good one. Is it possible to get $100 a month on Redbubble and TeePublic each? How many designs per day and what types of designs? Shimmy wants to speak, I think.
I would say anything. You guys go.
I think you can.
I don't sell on either platform anymore. I was in Redbubble for a short period of time and saw everything I needed to see and quickly got away from there. So I don't have any take on this one. I don't know.
I think you can, but it's not easy. It used to be easier back in the day, but it's harder now.
You can work it out.
They've made it harder with the tier system. You're going to do the math.
Oh, I am.
Math geek.
Mike, you're on Redbubble or no?
Yeah, I used to really like Redbubble and TeePublic. I was doing pretty good. I was doing like $250, $300 a month, and then they made those changes, and now I'm making like $13 a month or something like that, so I've just given up on them.
You'd need to sell 86 a month to get to $100.
86 what?
86 t-shirts.
Really?
At $22. It's 20. Right. It could be $25. I can't remember if it's 22 or 25. So you tell me how realistic that is on a platform like Redbubble that doesn't get much traffic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say traffic is everything necessarily, because Tossadora, for example, gets no traffic, and I get more sales on Tossadora than Redbubble.
The quality of traffic as well is important.
Yeah, maybe that's to do with it. But it's a combination of traffic and competition as well, isn't it? Right? Redbubble's competition is skyrocket high because everyone can sell on there, whereas Tossadora, no one even knows about it, so there's no competition.
Wait, so Mike, do you still sell on Redbubble then, or have you just left it?
I still have my account, but I just don't upload anymore there.
Yeah, it's not worth the time input. Get like a few random sales. Used to get more. TeePublic the same. I used to get a lot of sales on TeePublic, but it's definitely dropped. I think those platforms are okay because they're easy to upload to as a way to get used to print on demand, but they're not a good source of income in a sense. If I don't know, $50 a month makes a difference to your life, if that would actually make a difference, sure, you can try them out if you can't get in anywhere else.
The difficult thing is, though, how many, like, of all the sellers that you've got on the platform, the fact that we're saying 50 is like a good amount, is like the standard to be a good amount, but then the majority of people will be at 0. So like if you look at Amazon, the good amount on Amazon is what, like anything over $1,000 a month is like a good income for merch on demand.
Yeah, it's achievable.
It's achievable. It's good. You'll have tons of people on merch on demand that are making far less than that, and a few that are making far more. If we're saying Redbubble's good is 50, you're going to have tons of people making less, and even if you're making more, it's still so far of, like, the way I look at it is I like to kind of bring back examples to real world. So I know that we spend £50, what's that, $75 on our internet a month. So I just looked at it like that. Like, why would I pay more money to run the internet to upload to Redbubble? It just doesn't.
For some people,
no. So it's just me. It's just me. Yeah. But like
some people, it'll be completely different situation. So it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Definitely, in my opinion, not a marketplace that you should pour a lot of energy into. You should probably pour most of that energy into trying to start somewhere else, whether it's Amazon Merch, Etsy, or Shopify, if you can take the risk with the budget. A good example is Juna, who shares his sales, and I think he makes like $200 a month on Redbubble, something like that. And Juna is obviously top tier designer. He's been around for ages. He knows what he's doing. So that's kind of a benchmark example. That's quite a long. Do you want to say something, Adam? Or
I was just going to say, touching on that, I think Redbubble and many of these other platforms that we're sort of touching on are if you're totally new, you've never done print on demand, these can be something that you can try, right? And you're going to maybe learn about the ecosystem a little bit, like the process of uploadings and choosing a design or putting your design on a product, choosing that pricing and stuff. But, I don't think any of us here are pushing these as like platforms for like a long-term growth business. But it had me thinking, is there any other platforms out there that offer a fulfillment side built into the platform, like Merch by Amazon or in Redbubble, or are they all you have to integrate with a third party? Like what are the options for like the easy entry button? We know Redbubble is because there's no application, right? And it doesn't cost anything.
Good question.
Or no, it does now with these tiers or whatever indirectly. But you know what I mean? What other platform has it built into one package? Is there
there's tons.
Yeah,
so a few that I know of on top
Cafe
of that
Press,
Display.
So okay, I haven't done those. I was under the assumption a lot of those still had to integrate with like a Printify or a Printful or something like that. Those are all in house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Zazzle.
Is there one above all of the others that you guys recommend for someone that's like starting out?
You mean above Redbubble or above Amazon?
Above Amazon, because we know Amazon, the barrier to entry is the approval, right?
You've got Zazzle.
Start.
Zazzle, Cafe Press, T Public, T Fury, Society 6, Spreadshirt, obviously Amazon, Viral Style, the Humans one. I can't remember the full name of it.
Design
by Humans, Threadless. Those are all in-house. And then you've got like Etsy, which isn't in-house because it's connected to like something. But like all the other ones, they're most, I think they're pretty much all in-house.
KDP too, kind of.
Yeah.
Someone had a question about that. Does anyone here sell on KDP actively? Because
I do. Active is a generous term, but
are we allowed to upload low content lined or blank notebooks with different cover but the same interior on KDP? Because I have more than 300 with the same interior. Is it safe?
You used to be able to do that, and that was a couple years ago. Everyone was doing that, uploading like the blank line journals and stuff. I don't know exactly for sure, but I'm pretty sure Amazon has changed that because when AI sort of came and there was this big push for that, I think they started to frown upon that, but I'm not sure. What I would try to do is just do even the slightest variation, right? You could just add a page number to the bottom of the line journal or something so that the interiors are a little bit different, but I don't know whether or not it's safe or not. I'm not sure, but I think they're cracking down on trying to minimize the amount of low quality and there's some other settings or checkboxes you now have to check if it's an AI, if it's generated by AI when you're uploading to KDP, stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what I think as well, because they limited the amount you can upload per day or per week as well. It was used to be quite high, and now it's very low, like only a few designs per day or something like that, or a few notebooks per day. I've seen a few questions, I think, in previous live streams as well about has anyone tried fourth wall? Now, I don't know what they are, but Shimmy, you're usually quite clued up. Have you heard of that? Or
I've been getting so many comments about testing fourth wall, and I've looked into them, and it looks cool. And I've got like a test in the works. I'm waiting for stuff to arrive in the post. But it's just another company,
What is it?
Forever. It's like another print-on-demand company, the same as like any of the ones out there.
Printful, Printify. It's not a marketplace, right?
No, I think it is actually a little bit of a marketplace as well, if I remember correctly. If you go to No, that's what it was. It's more for like creators. It's like Teespring. It's like Spring, where it's like they've tried to market it to creators
Okay, yeah, I
to
can see
sell
a few
merch.
YouTube faces on the homepage.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
okay.
MKBHD and all these people. And then you create a store and all that kind of stuff. It's probably similar to like Motif or I wouldn't say Printify or Printful because you don't like run a store. I guess with Printify you have pop up, but yeah, like Spreadshop and that kind of vibe. It sounds like.
It's like a bit of a hybrid between, yeah, like integrating with platforms maybe, and also having a marketplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I haven't heard of anyone who's tried it, to be honest. So maybe you'll be the first, Shimmy, to make a video about it. Do you recommend to use TikTok and Pinterest ads? I personally have not done either. Yeah,
it
for
depends.
what is the question? Would you recommend it for Shopify?
Eventually, yeah. Not less Pinterest, more TikTok. Yeah. I mean, what I would recommend is posting TikTok videos, seeing which ones take off.
Why not Pinterest?
Because TikTok is just a much bigger platform. And yeah, I would say post generic videos, not like videos of like just your t-shirt slideshow of going through your t-shirts, because no one watches that stuff. But like if you post actual content, like UGC content, user generated content, stuff like that, and you see which one takes off and gets organic views, then you start advertising that one, because it's like proof of concept. You know, if it's worked in the algorithm, you can just bump it to get it more views. I think that's a great marketing tactic, but only if you're leading to a platform where you're making significant profit margins. Otherwise, it just doesn't pay for it. Like, it's not worth the cost.
You wouldn't want to lead it to TeePublic, for example.
Now, $1 a t-shirt is good profit. Don't bash it.
Okay. I actually don't mind. I've never bashed TeePublic in a sense, because I think it's so easy to upload to. Like, the idea is great. It's just they've really run it into the ground over the past few years, it seems. But if you've never done this, it's still good to just open a store and practice, rather than practicing with Etsy, where you've got to manage a lot of start from the stuff, which is quite overwhelming. TeePublic is good to practice, but yeah, you have to be aware of the fact you're not going to make much money, if any. Okay. Has anyone got any niche ideas to share? Anyone?
So
I thought of one to just for the chat, for like we did last time.
Go ahead.
Totally random, I'm always thinking of weird shit, but yeah. So my niche is actually road signs. Believe it or not, like road signs, traffic signs. There is people out there that are really into that sort of thing. Like, and in every state, right? Our signs here in Florida are probably different than where Mike is in Mexico, and I know they're different than where you guys are in the UK. But I don't know exactly the broader term. But like traffic signs and those icons and stuff like that, there's actually people that are interested in those. There's a lot of different ways to spin it. You can take a design, maybe a standard sign, and put an artful spin on it. There's funny quotes, but that's kind of a niche that doesn't get a lot of attention, but there's some demand there. And if you hunt around, there's some opportunities, and you can find these designs, and they're easy to replicate. And you'll want to check to make sure that whatever sign you're using, or whatever elements you're using, are safe for use. And I've checked on a lot of them, and here in the States, at least, a lot of those designs are in the public domain, right? So they're not copyright or trademark protected. But yeah, road signs, kind of random, but check it out.
Yeah, but that's good. Not a lot of people would think of it, and it seems easy to create designs for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And there's no issues with them being copyrighted or something like that. I guess they're considered public domain, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's the ones that I've checked. They have been, but do your own due diligence. But there's a lot of different things. There's like road signs. There's traffic signs. There's like subway signs. I mean, some people can tie those back to maybe they're a city, like a vacation trip. There's a lot of different opportunities in there.
Nice. I've got a bit of a sub niche of butterflies. It's a specific type of butterfly called the monarch butterfly, which seems to have pretty good demand and a lot of search volume. I checked the search volume on Flying Research, and The competition doesn't seem that high. I would maybe classify it as medium competition, but and if anyone uses Flying Research, they've got like a niche analysis tab. I don't know if you've ever used that, Mike. You can like type in a niche and it gives you a score. And it's giving me an S, which is the second best rating, which I've rarely ever seen in Flying Research. So it looked
What
like
was the actual term you typed in? Was it just monarch or monarch butterfly?
Monarch butterfly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Looking good. And I've checked on other marketplaces as well. On some marketplaces, there's like basically no competition or very low. On Amazon, there's probably a bit more, but yeah, there seems to be a good demand for that type of butterfly. Any other?
Yeah, those are very popular here in the States. I
Yeah.
don't know, people plant, I think it's the buttermilk plant, and it attracts monarch butterflies. And yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, I saw buttermilk in some of the designs, so that makes sense. Interesting.
So it's so niche.
The opposite of what you would do with the Shopify, I guess.
Well, not necessarily, but like
No?
I like evergreen. I like designs that are not time based. So like there's tons of niches, like I'd say go and create stuff in gym, nature, music, dogs, cats, but I'm a big fan of researching designs that work in popular niches and then kind of seeing how you can make them yourself. But then also what I've been doing recently is seeing what works in one niche. So let's say the running niche, finding a really popular design in the running niche, and then adapt that design for the cycling niche, which doesn't exist in that niche yet. It would be completely unique for that cycling niche. But the design concept is proven, and then doing that, doing that across as many niches as you can. So rather than just do research in your own niche, do research in other niches and see if you can change up a word, change up a phrase, change the graphic. And sometimes it works. Well, most times it works really well.
Yeah, it works time and time again. I love that strategy as well. But do I get it right that with a Shopify store, ideally you want to have broader niches that would probably be too competitive on Amazon, like cycling?
Yeah, with Shopify you want to have you want one niche, and then you want it to be you want it to be big enough where you can create 100+ designs and have the potential to get even more than that. So you just want to make sure you have variability with your designs. With like Etsy or Amazon, I would happily create the same design 100 times and just change one word, like a scalable design. But with Shopify, I want to make 100 unique designs in a singular niche. But then you want the niche to be big enough so that you can send enough traffic and find a winner. Because at the end of the day, you're looking for a winner. But like, dogs, for example, would be good. But if someone made a whole shop about pugs, they would struggle to come up with 100 or plus pug designs before they start repeating themselves.
Does that sound familiar, Adam?
Absolutely.
It's very similar to something that's going on in my Discord community called the Tamaz method, because someone is doing that same concept on Amazon in our server, and he's doing really well with it. So he goes after very broad niches where there's lots of traffic, and then he tries to find a winner to create a bestseller on Amazon with ads. So yeah, that's interesting. What about you, Mike? Did you find any niches, or I know you're a bit late, so if not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so just the ones that have been starting to sell for me as of late is the Roe v. Wade niche. So as we get closer to the election, I'm starting to see those sales starting to pick up, like see you in November, or just the year 1973, something as simple as that. And then another one is just taking any like high school sport and cross niching it with like senior or class of 2025. Those are starting to pick up for me as well. You can even niche down and like triple cross niche it with like, mom of a basketball senior 2025 and do all the high school sports. So I kind of like those hybrid niches where you take like the current year, the upcoming year, and then cross niching it with like any type of like evergreen niche. Those are the good ones for me that I like.
Mike, are you running ads on those graduation style designs, or are you getting organic sales?
Both. So I actually just have them I have a campaign running for football, like mom, dad, 2025. and those are getting some sales. And I did like all the sports, I really flooded the niche on all of those. But the other ones are just getting organic sales,
Nice.
I think just because I'm early,
Yeah.
I'm not priced too high. I'm right around like $14.99, $17.99.
Nice.
So, and pretty good designs just using Creative Fabrica. A lot of people ask me if you're able to use Creative Fabrica, and I always tell people as long as it comes with the special POD license, then you're able to.
Creative Fabrica is the best. I use it so much.
Same. It's great.
It's such a lifesaver. Like we just did a Father's Day campaign on Shopify, and we had 16 designs, and I think it was 12 or 13 of them were all from Creative Fabrica. It was so quick, it's so easy. Like we came up with these designs in an hour.
Nice.
You've got to be in like a popular niche though, but like because Creative Fabrica, like if you really niche, then they don't tend to have that much. But like if you're in a very popular niche, there's so much there.
Yeah.
I even started a store on Creative Fabrica and started uploading some of my AI designs.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually they pay you just for uploading, not even if you sell anything or anybody, just for uploading. I mean, it's like they give you pennies, but I mean that's pretty cool. I mean, you don't even have to really get any sales.
How does that work? How much they pay you?
I mean, it's nothing to brag about, but I mean, I've made $60 so far this month. Uploading.
How many designs
AI
have you uploaded?
Probably like 100. But I think the reason why is because I hit two trends. So the Donald Trump trend. I'm voting for the convicted felon. I did a few of those, and I also did a lot of the Hawk 201s because I'm too nervous to put those up on the Merch by Amazon. So I did them on Creative Fabrica. That way, I don't feel like I'm FOMOing because I feel like I fear of missing out on Amazon. So I just put them on Creative Fabrica, and I kind of.
So you get a cut if someone downloads it, like a small cut. Because I've got like 10,000 AI designs in a folder.
Yeah.
I
have a creative
Creative Fabrica.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I have a Creative Fabrica shop too. I haven't put anything on mine in years, but it covers. I make like $50 or $80 a month. It covers the membership, and then people. And it's the same thing Mike was just saying because I have some Christmas stuff. So every year before Christmas, October-ish, when people are starting to, I got to get some Christmas designs. Those sell. And I mean, really, if somebody put the time in and could like come up with a cost-effective way to put real usable POD graphics like that are ready to use or ready to alter, you know what I mean? Like you probably could make some money, especially if because it's not just graphics, right? You put like fonts, everything else. I mean,
fonts are hard though.
Like Mike's saying, this is very low effort, just kind of some stuff that's been up there for a long time. But
if you go on down that route as well, if anyone did want to try and sell like digital downloads on Creative Fabrica, there's also other platforms you can kind of repurpose the exact same design.
On Etsy.
One, Etsy, of course. One that I also sell on is, I forgot what it's called. Is it
Creative Market?
Creative Market, yeah. And
that's a fancy one, right?
Yeah, but they denied me.
What about design
How do you get
bundles?
accepted?
You need to get accepted. I didn't.
Yeah, Creative Market is kind of a little bit higher threshold to entry. I don't think I got accepted there either. This is years ago, but I'm not on there either. It's they try and control, I think, a little bit more of the storefront and
quality control.
You have to send them like a link or a portfolio to your stuff. I sent them to my Etsy shop, and they denied me. So I got to pick up my game, I think, a little bit.
I find it funny though that you're making more money from uploading designs onto Creative Fabrica than Redbubble. We should tell people to do that.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't put those trending designs on Redbubble, but I don't know if they're accepting them because Redbubble, I noticed over the past year, they got kind of more like strict with some of my like political on the kind of edge kind of designs.
Wait, so if I have a membership, I've never used Creative Market. I've only used Creative Fabrica, but I'm looking at Creative Market and it looks sick. They've got such cool designs. If you have a paid membership, do you get commercial? You get the commercial license.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you can use
because this T-shirt is $18, but their membership is $30 a month. Which
I've
you
never
get
done the
credit.
membership. I have bought stuff on there, and you get a commercial license.
It's good for fonts.
Yeah.
You get credits like you get credits to spend on assets. I wonder how much credit something cost though? Because I can't see that because I don't have an account. But that's cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's do some favorite questions. Let us know in the chat as well. If you're watching the Euros, meaning the football event that's on at the moment, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not watching it, put a 2.
Are the 49ers playing?
Here or anyone watching it? Any of you guys watching it or not?
Watched a few games, but we are atrocious as a team, so it's depressing to watch.
We as in England.
Yes,
Is
not
England
your
still in
team.
there?
You've got a good team.
Yeah, England is very boring to watch, to be fair. So I get it why you're not very invested.
We're just so bad. We are so bad.
And it's funny, like every English person you speak to says the exact same thing. Everyone is so pessimistic about it.
It's because we have the highest level of football in terms of the Premier League in the entire world. Like the Premier League is one of the highest form. And then we can't gather 11 men to get together for the Euros or the World Cup and play decently together.
It is strange, isn't it?
It's
That's
just
like
atrocious.
one area where you always kind of struggle. But it's weird with Germany as well, because we've been playing really well, right? But then the last game was only a draw. And then like the critics roll in. So if Germany doesn't perform really, really high, like they get a lot of like critics in the news and journalists and stuff like that. It's like, come on, you won the group. What else do you want?
Who's the best team?
Who's the best team?
Who's the best? Yeah,
Good
France
question.
or
we'll find out, won't we?
Let us know in the chat as well who you think will win it, or who you think is the best team in the competition. I think from watching some of the games, Spain looks really good. France is one of the best teams, but they haven't looked that good yet.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we tend to do quite well all the way until the semis, and then we slip up on a penalty or something. Like literally as well.
All right. What about favorite cars? What's your favorite car? I know Shimi's a bit of a car guy, so what's your favorite?
Just a little bit. Well, if we were in my studio, there'd be cars everywhere. But
yeah, what do you have in the background in your studio? Like, which cars are that? So you've got is it Lego sets or?
Yeah, the Lego cars. So you got a Bugatti, you've got the Ferrari SF. No, the Ferrari Daytona, the Lamborghini. Can't remember which one that one is. And then there's a Porsche GT3 RS. Favorite car, probably like a Ferrari 458 Speciale, if anyone knows what that is.
I've heard the name. I can't say exactly what it looks
sounds
like.
expensive.
It's a nice car. It's a nice car, but then I don't really have a favorite because I like all kind of cars. I like
You're not like a Ferrari head. You're interested in most of them, or
I just like cars. Like I'd take a classic Porsche turbo, like you know the one in Bad Boys. I take that over anything.
Nice.
Someone just said Adam looks like he drives a truck.
That's literally my answer. I'm not a car guy. I'm a truck guy. That's literally my answer. I'm literally Googling cars right now because I'm like, crap, I don't have a favorite car. Yeah, I'm a truck guy. Honestly, I'm a truck guy. I drive a
What's your
Ford
favorite truck?
F-150. I've had a Ford F. It's my third Ford F-150. I've always driven trucks.
Oh, you got a Ford F-150. That is a cool truck, though.
Yeah. No, it's a great truck, and yeah, I'm more of a truck guy. But I'll tell you, I will say this: the kind of cars, like if I was ever like a bajillionaire, I like the older cars that are like from the 1920s and 1930s that are kind of that Art Deco style, the split windshield, the white rim tires, like the Model T. I like that kind of stuff. That's really cool to me. But yeah, I'm a truck guy.
Cool.
Funny.
Yeah, for me, I'm not really a car guy. I like just walking around, to be honest. But I drive a Jeep Patriot, so not really. For down here in Mexico, you need something kind of high up because the roads aren't that great. But as a kid growing up, we used to always drive the 5.0 Mustangs, the drop tops with the crowbar on top. That was really nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
That does sound fun.
Do donuts.
That's the go-to rental car if we ever go to America. We just rent a Mustang because they're so cheap to rent because it's such a popular car in America. whenever we go to LA or anywhere in the West Coast, we just rent a convertible Mustang.
That's the way to do it.
You barely see them here. They're quite rare here.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
it's
what
American
like in
car.
London, but like up here in the north of England, different car culture for sure. Not a lot of trucks either.
No
I'm-
trucks.
I like all kinds of cars as well, but I do definitely have a favorite brand. I'm an Audi guy, very European, right?
Mm.
Um,
Those are
You're
nice.
true to your roots.
yeah, true to my roots. If I could choose any, I would probably go for an RS6, which is like an estate, one of the wagons, as they're called in America. Very wide. Yeah.
Stunning car.
And oh yeah, one last question. I thought might be interesting. Does anyone here play video games? If so, which ones? Or do you used to play video games?
I used to play quite a bit. I haven't in years. I used to play Halo on Xbox. I'm really giving
Yes.
my age.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Halo.
Yeah, man, I was like Halo 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I was obsessed, did that a lot. And then I also used to play a lot of RTS games on the computer, real-time strategy. Like, I'm really giving my age away here, but like original StarCraft, Age of Empires, Command and Conquer. I mean, these games are like 20 years, literally 20
Age
years
of
old.
Empires,
So.
nice.
But old strategy games I used to, but I'm just busy. I haven't played in it's really been a long time. What about y'all?
I grew up playing Halo as well, but I grew up playing like really old, the Tycoon games. Don't even know if you guys had them over in America, like Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Roller Coaster,
Hospital
Train Tycoon, all those.
Yeah. They were sick. But no, when I became a little bit older, I played Halo. Now I wish I had time to play some games. I don't. We play a lot of board games. Every weekend we'll play board games. But
like Monopoly or anything like more.
well, I mean, the cupboard over there has got probably like 50 different board games in it. We're big board game geeks. And I'm in the process of like designing a racing rig. I really want a racing rig. But I know that once I build it and I spend all that money, I'm actually going to have no time to use it. So I'm still debating if it's something to do. But yeah, other than that,
the building process.
It's a fun building process. I might document it. I don't know.
Sounds like a interesting video.
Yeah.
I maybe it doesn't suit the Print on Demand channel. I don't know, but I used to play a lot of video games. I haven't done so in a few years, but I was big into Call of Duty. I did occasionally play something like Halo or like a Star Wars game, but mainly Call of Duty. And I used to edit a lot of montages as well, like compilations of clips. Basically.
Oh, nice. Call of Duty, yeah, Modern Warfare 2, best one without a doubt, right?
I
Really?
actually preferred. I love MW2, but I actually preferred MW3 and Black Ops 3. Personally.
Interesting. I feel like you played Jedi Knight growing up.
No, actually, I didn't know. My go-to Star Wars game was Star Wars Republic Commando. It's like a very old, not as well known one.
Battlefront. Did you guys ever play Star Wars Battlefront?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
that was a fun one
all the time.
Get a big crew together. That was a great one.
Let us know in the chat what you used to play or what you still play.
Wait, Mike didn't go. Mike, what's your video? Do you play video games?
No, I've never really been into video games. I don't even know what you guys are talking about right now. The only one that I ever got into was Madden, the football one.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's very popular here in the States for sure. That's a big one. Yeah.
What about NBA 2K? We did that a lot.
Yeah, NBA 2K is another good one.
I didn't like it that much, no.
Or FIFA.
Yeah, I used to play quite a bit of FIFA as well.
Can't go wrong with FIFA.
On the Game Boy as well. I used to play FIFA on the Game Boy. If anyone remembers that.
The Game Boy. What's the Game Boy?
Massive.
How old are you guys? Am I the oldest one here?
I'm 29.
27.
Philip? What about Adam? I'm 42, so.
Oh, I was waiting for you to answer first. I'm 39.
Oh, all right, I win.
You got it, Mike.
You guys do not look 42 and 39.
You don't.
Let me cover up my bald spot here, man.
It's like, yeah, when Adam told me his age, I was like, what? He looked like 30. Mike, you don't look over 40 either. That's crazy.
No, not a chance.
That's a cool thing about print on demand, though, right? I mean, I know people that do this or that have DM'd me. They're 60 years old. People that are trying to start side hustles, right?
I've
That are
coached people
60.
who are older. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's people that are in high school, young. So I mean, it's the cool thing about this industry community. It's really, if you're willing to put in the work, it doesn't matter how old you are.
Very diverse community.
For sure.
Okay, let's see if we've got any final questions or anything to highlight, and then we'll probably end it. I know there's a bunch more like personal questions as well, but we'll save them for the next episode. How many viewers have we got? Still 100 viewers on a
Any
Monday.
questions?
That's live though.
Good.
It'll be a lot more once you close off because people have dropped off and come in.
Yeah, the peak would have been higher, you mean, or
Yeah, like your total views will be higher than what it says now.
but still, like the current concurrent viewers, I think that's quite good for like
That's amazing.
Monday
it's really
morning.
good.
Yeah, for a Monday.
Yeah,
That's
really
brilliant.
So yeah, thanks to everyone who joined. We've got a specific question right here for Mike. Oops, let's bring that up. Question for Mike. According to your dashboard stats, I see that they have so many sales. Oh yeah, the most commonly asked question, I think.
I get this question like every day, man.
What's the answer then?
So again, it just depends on the niche. For like group shirts, I price kind of low. For evergreen shirts, I price kind of high. Sometimes I like to keep them kind of low just to get reviews, but just get sales. But little by little, I'm increasing my prices so I can stop getting this damn question, man.
That's funny.
What do you guys sell at on Amazon?
For me, it depends on the niche and my mood. But I have recently lowered a lot of my prices to increase the conversion rate, which then increases the amount of times the shirt sells and how much organic traffic it gets on top of the ads. So I'm kind of hovering for most of my bestsellers around $16 to $17.99 now. Occasionally higher. Yeah.
I'm at like $19.99 pretty much by default across the board, probably 80-90% of my designs, but I do have some that are lower and then I have some that are higher. So I'll test that a little bit, maybe like Phillips or like Mike saying, in group competitive niches and stuff, but my upload default is $19.99 and there's got to be a reason to go below that, so I'm usually a little bit on the higher end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I guess it's because of competition and everything.
I'm $14.99 to $17.99. It's my sweet spot.
Okay.
Wow. So sounds like with merch to really make it work, you want to be under the $20 bracket.
I don't think you necessarily have to. It depends what the goal is. Do you want more sales, like more sales volume, or do you want more royalties per sale? I think both can work in their own way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shimmy, I would agree. I would say the majority of the designs that are on there and bestsellers, they're definitely in that below 20 range, somewhere in that 16 to 19. But I mean, I know people who have great sellers at like $21.99 and they're getting like a great volume. It's a good design. They've got great, placement and they're able to just still get those sales. I mean, I haven't had a lot of luck pricing much higher than that on and still maintaining, sales velocity.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's different with Amazon. Like that's the thing with Shopify, it's different because I'm not surrounded by competition or anything.
Yeah, what do you price at?
So depending on the size, small to large is $26.99, and then 2XL's $20 plus shipping, which is $4.87. Then it goes up to $27.99 and $29.99, $30. $99, $31.99, basically 27 to 32,
Gotcha.
up to 5XL.
Do you offer people discounts of like discount codes in the emails and stuff off of that price?
So whenever you go to the website, you'll get like a pop-up being like, get 15% off your first purchase. So that 15% kind of makes it like it's free shipping because that's like about $4. And then we do like, we will send out discounts and all those things. But I mean, the profit margin on the shirts is about $17-18, which is great. But then you have to factor in the reason why we have to have it so high is because of the ads.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there have been days where we've got like a 7+% conversion rate on the day. So people,
That's great.
like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, originally I was like, there's absolutely no chance someone's going to buy a t-shirt for this much money, but I guess people still do. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's really amazing. Yeah, it's quite the difference, right? The royalty per sale and the price.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, thanks to everyone who joined us. We'll end it. Thanks for all of your questions as well. It was a really, really fun conversation. And the next episode is going to be in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. We'll see if we can get Juna on again, maybe someone from Etsy as well. If you've got suggestions, you can let me know in the comments as well of who you want to see on. And yeah, thanks for joining us. All the links, by the way, all the links to everyone in this call are in the description. So if you're new to their channels, definitely check them out. They've all got really good content for a variety of different topics. So yeah,
Awesome.
That's it. I'll end the stream. Thanks for you guys for joining as well. And
Cool.
yeah, we'll
Thanks
see
for
you
having
later.
us.
Thanks for watching.